Hello everyone, this is Saurav Pathak and today we are here at the New Delhi National Book Fair. Today we are here to cover one of the popular nationalist brand Garuda, whose website happens to be on Bagisto.com. So let's see what the CEO, Mr. Sankrant Sanu, has to say about the publication. Hello sir, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
Could you let us know more about yourself?
Sure. I'm actually a technologist. So it's some people might find it strange for a technologist to get into book publication. But I was working at Microsoft for many years. I did my BTech from IIT Kanpur, then went abroad, did my masters from Texas. And so after working at Microsoft for many years, I decided to take a break from technology, and decide like what I really would like to spend my energy on. So I got into Indian culture, into spiritual traditions, and then I realized that we don't really have our own platform for publishing our books. We have a lot of foreign publishers that people got attracted to, but then we are always handing over our power to others to decide what we are going to read about our own culture. So I decided to start Garuda with a focus on books on Indian culture and traditions.
That's nice, sir. That's a very great journey, sir. So, how you are looking to cater the audience when you talk about the Indian culture? So, how you are looking to cater the audience of the international audience, right? Like you have seen, there's a huge interest going on even outside India. People are coming to India and knowing the culture. So, what strategy you have to cater to those audiences who are looking to give a keen interest in the Indian culture?
Right. So, we have a lot of books that are targeted at an international audience. In fact, we had a book called Thank You India, written by a German woman. She came on a journey to India and stayed here for 30 years, went and explored many of the spiritual traditions of India. And so that book has become very popular outside India. We have a book, an entirely new history of India, written by a French author,
Okay, that's
François
great.
Gauthier.
Perfect.
So we've got a German author, we've got a French author, we've got Swedish authors. So we've got a very international set of authors also who have been interested in Indian culture and traditions. We have a book by a Swedish author, by a Swedish filmmaker, who's tracing Jesus' lost years and where he went and did he come to India. So there's a whole book on that. And we have books on yoga and Ayurveda, all of those things. So we have yoga book on yoga for rehab, how you get out of drug addiction using yoga. This is also a popular book outside. Then we have a book on Ayurveda, Ayurvedic recipes. A lot of people are reading that. Yeah.
You see, even in India, there are almost 28 states, and there's those much of a language. Okay,
Sure.
There's so much of multicultural, multi-language. Okay, so if I talk about the regional language, okay, so did Garuda Prakashan cater to all those languages, or in India in some language?
Right. We cater to many languages. Of course, we do Hindi, and then my own book has been published in multiple languages. So sometimes we self-publish through Garuda, or we publish through partners also. So my book is called The English Medium Myth, Angrezi Madhyam Ka Bhramjal. And it's been translated now into Tamil, into Kannada, into Telugu, into Gujarati, into Marathi, going into Bengali, and also somebody's translated into Sanskrit. So the whole book is translated into Sanskrit as well, and Punjabi. Yeah.
Okay. So do you also have plans after this bookstore? You also launch some kind of podcast around the Indian culture,
Yes.
Because there are so many e-readers as well, right?
Yes.
Who like to learn online, not with the books, okay?
Sure.
So, what plans do you have on making a videos on the Indian culture, and for the same book which you have got, you give the message in the form of video?
Sure. Well, we have a Garuda YouTube channel also. So if you look for Garuda Prakashan or Garuda Books, there's a YouTube channel there. And so we make short clips, or we do book launches online. People can interact with the author, ask the author questions, things like that. So definitely expanding in that area. Yeah.
And if I talk about the market size of these bookstores, okay, I'll be very happy if you can let my audience know, what's the industry of bookstore right now in India, and how much expanding, and if anyone is looking to come into this market, okay, so what are your advice for them?
Sure. Well, India is one of the biggest book markets in the world. It's a multi-billion-dollar market in India, and you have many different categories of books. So you've got textbooks, you've got what we call trade books, which are general interest books. Then you've got very specific like technical books or exam preparation books, those kinds of books. So it's many different segments, but India is one of the fastest growing markets for book also.
Okay.
So almost growing, between around 15% CAGR. So it's a very, very robust market in India. So definitely for somebody who's coming in, the important thing is to identify your niche. What is it that you want to focus on? For instance, our niche is Indian culture. So a lot of the books are in Indian culture. That's where people associate our brand with. If you look at the books here on this poster, we've got Unbreaking India, which is around this whole decisions on Article 370. We have this book, Imperishable Seed, which was around how Hindu mathematics changed the world.
Okay.
Most of the mathematics we study in school today actually came from India, went to Europe and then came back to us. So trigonometry, algebra, arithmetic operation, basics of calculus, all of this came from India. So this was written by Bhaskar Kamble. He's a PhD in physics from IIT Kanpur. He wrote this book, very, very nice book as well. So again, we've got a lot of different aspects of Indian culture that we cover.
Okay. So since you told me that you are also a technology enthusiast also, okay. So may I know, like, before launching this website, okay, what tech stack you have used? Because like today technology has been playing a very key role in every area, right? So can you let our audience know, like, what tech stack you have used or the technology behind launching the website?
Sure. Well, initially, we'd done very initial. Our first website was WooCommerce on WordPress. Okay. But there's a lot of scaling issues. There's a lot of security issues. There's a lot of scaling issues. So then we started looking at other alternatives where we would not get into those kinds of problems. And we wanted to go on PHP. We wanted to use the Laravel stack and the Laravel framework. And then we had a couple of options. We looked at one other software that we tried for some time, but there was a lot of problem with customization. So finally, we looked at Bagisto. We found that a very, there were two reasons actually to converge on Bagisto. One is that it was based on the stack we had identified as the higher performance stack, which is the Laravel and PHP stack. And secondly, we wanted to, Garuda is a publishing house and a marketplace that's focused on Indian culture. And we wanted to encourage Indian entrepreneurship and Indian businesses. So Bagisto was an open source platform that had been rooted in India, that has been started for India. So we decided to go for Bagisto platform.
Perfect. Talking about Bagisto, once you have started using the platform, have you seen any performance metrics being improved compared to the previous ones? Okay.
Definitely.
And what feedback you have got from your team who are using Bagisto as a solution?
Yeah, so I think definitely from kind of using these solutions where people do WooCommerce on WordPress. All the problem with those solutions is WordPress was not designed to be an e-commerce transaction platform. It was meant for blogging, right? So you kind of try to fit products into it. You make the page correspond to a product. You have all these, but you're trying to force fit that platform into something it was never designed to do. So there's a lot of performance and security issues that come from that. So in Bagisto, we definitely found much smoother from a performance point of view, much easier from a scalability point of view, and so that that's some of the things we've seen. Yeah.
So as you told that Bagisto is one of the made in India products, okay?
Yeah.
And you have seen that our Honorary Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, is also promoting Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Right.
What are your views on making India self-reliant and a technology sovereign country, so we can reduce the trade deficit that has been going for so long?
Absolutely. No, I think it's very important for us to look at all of these aspects of sovereignty actually, because when our data is stored outside, that also is a security risk for us. Tomorrow if there's a war situation, that data could be used to target individual citizens or target the country. Similarly, when we have a lot of reliance on social media networks that are outside India, we have reliance on big e-commerce companies that are owned outside India, right? So you're using an e-commerce company which is a multinational e-commerce company, but it's all of its loyalty, all of its base is outside India. And so we've had problems, with these big platforms which deplatform our book. because they say, oh, it is nationalistic, it is this, it is that.
Yes.
And so you would think it's a neutral platform, but none of these platforms are really neutral.
Yes, right.
So India has to be very careful because our elections can be manipulated. We have seen all this controversy around Twitter, on censorship and shadow banning and all of this. So if you're giving a foreign company that much power over you, where it could influence elections, it could influence social dynamics, it could get all the data on all the people, then you have real risk, from a security point of view, from a sovereignty point of view. So, Garuda itself is now expanding into a full e-commerce foray, where we're going to give these big e-commerce companies a run for their money. We're going to be carrying all the books, not just the one we are publishing. We already have the partners plug in as a marketplace and carrying other books. And then we're going to go into other categories as well. And Bagisto as a platform is definitely being helping us expand in that way.
Great. So that's amazing to know your views and statistics on the market of bookstore and the tech sector that you have been following.
Right.
At last, I want to ask you that looking at the current situation right now,
Right.
and as you told that you will be implementing the Garuda in different category, okay?
Right.
So, what future plans you have in the coming down the years? If I talk about the futuristic plan of Garuda store, okay, and how technology is going to play a key role in helping Garuda
Yes.
in foraying into all those aspects.
I mean, we know e-commerce as a whole has been growing very, very rapidly. All over the world it's growing rapidly. In India, it's growing even faster, right? And as e-commerce becomes very sophisticated, the user expectations are going to be very sophisticated. People will want to try before you buy.
Yes.
People are going to use AR and VR. All of those technologies are going to be necessary to come onto the e-commerce platform. And also very important is this notion of curation in e-commerce, because people, everything is available online, but how do I know what is a good product? Reviews can be faked.
Yes.
All of these can be faked. So people are moving towards, like in our own life, we rely on people we know, we rely on experts. We say, okay, this cousin of mine knows about computers, let me ask him,
Yes.
which computer to buy. So similarly, we expect there'll be experts online, curated experts that are going to help you in your buying decisions. And so that's going to also be a very important aspect of what we see in e-commerce coming forward.
Great, sir. Thank you for sharing your views and giving us your important time. I recommend our audience to go to garudabook.com and check out the wide list of categories they have and different books they have on the store. And do go ahead and give it a try. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, the website is called garudabooks.com. Garudabooks.com. Everybody is welcome. Give us our feedback.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.